everyone. My name is Yessie.
And I'm Priscilla.
And welcome to another episode of
Nina's Hangout.
Yay! So imagine this. Your hands are sweaty, your heart is racing, and your stomach is doing somersaults. Is that excitement? Nerves? Maybe a bit of both. You take a deep breath, push the door open, and step inside. There's no turning back now. Maybe you're a mother of 2 teenagers rediscovering yourself after years of focusing on others, or a 20-year-old new to the city seeking new friends and adventure. Or maybe you're in your 50s, eager to stay active and social. Congratulations! You're about to take your first adult-friendly beginner dance class, gymnastics class, or even ice skating lesson.
Today, we will be talking about people who dare to step outside their comfort zones and pursue something new as adults. We often associate extracurricular activities with children, but there's a unique beauty and strength in adults exploring their passions too. And that's why we're celebrating that courage to start fresh no matter where you are in life. Get ready for an incredible episode because today we are beyond thrilled to welcome a woman whose journey in dance is nothing but short of inspiring. She began her dance adventure at age 18, and her passion led her to the big leagues, dancing for the NFL's Dallas Cowboys Rhythm and Blue, the NBA Dallas Mavs D-Town Crew, and the Dallas Mavs Breakers. It's an absolute honor to have her with us today. Please join us in welcoming the amazing Adriana Coronado to the show. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for making it. I know it's a Sunday and, you have things to do, so it means a lot for you to be here.
Of course, yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited and honored to be here, honestly.
Thank you. I'm excited for the people also watching this to see your energy and to feel it through the screens. We're gonna start with asking you, what was a pivotal moment that made you decide to pursue your passion as a dancer seriously? What is one thing you wish you had known before starting on this path?
I would say I decided to take it seriously whenever I was 18. I dabbled a little bit before, honestly, just trying Zumba classes and going to the YMCA with my mom. And yeah, that was my first dance experience in that kind of classroom setting.
Yeah.
So that's when I kind of started. I was 17ish, and then 18 I feel is whenever I took it seriously. But what kind of solidified my decision to do it seriously was trying a hip-hop class. It was a drop-in, my very first drop-in hip-hop class in person, because I'd been doing YouTube for a year. So I would just learn a routine. For non-dancers, you usually go to a class, you learn a routine, and you maybe learn it within 45 minutes, and then you do 10-15 minutes of groups of just performing it. But I was doing it on YouTube, so I would take honestly maybe a week to learn it, just a routine from a class. And to me, that was I didn't really give myself a time frame. I was just learning. So I would do that on YouTube, and then I was okay, I've learned quite a few. Let me try it in person. So I went and I tried an in-person class, and I followed this choreographer back in the day, Wildebeest. I'm if you're a dancer, you kind of know who he is. But he was super intricate, very advanced. But that was my first in-person hip-hop class.
Beginners. Oh my god,
I just thinking, did a cannonball into the deep end.
Wow.
I could never.
Yeah, no.
It was humbling to say the least.
Starting with a Team Athena.
Exactly. In today's terms, it'd probably be going into a Team Athena advanced class.
Holy
whenever
crap.
you've just been learning YouTube tutorials.
Yes.
But so it was very humbling. They learned so fast. That was at a pace I had never learned before.
Yeah.
So I could have gotten discouraged so quickly.
Yeah.
And honestly, there was a thought in my mind where I was should I walk out? This is embarrassing.
No. And I've seen people in class do that.
Yes,
and then I just want to tell them, no, please come back. It gets better.
Right. It does.
Yeah. And I think I did see somebody walk out, and I was yo, I'm struggling too. Should I walk out? But I was no, because I begged my mom to drive me to this class, because I lived in Fort Worth at the time. So my mom drove me to Dallas. She drove me on a Friday night, and I was no, I can't give up on myself, and I can't let her time and effort be wasted, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me just stick it out. Like, it doesn't matter if I'm like not doing as good as I thought I would. I'm just gonna like stay. Like, it's better than quitting. So, so
that's a very powerful mindset for an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that was like the older side of the class, because it was like kids, and maybe like the adults that were in there were like professionals. So there was, I don't know, I felt like so out of place. But that was the mindset I had. So I was like, okay, being here, I'm gonna learn more than if I were to walk out, you know?
Yeah,
It was like,
true.
I already paid for it, I already drove here.
Yeah.
Like, my time's already been spent, let me like at least get something else out of it. So I took the class. Honestly, I probably learned maybe like collectively maybe 3 8 counts out of the whole thing.
Okay,
Wait, I'm
that's
sure
a
you
lot,
killed
though.
those 3 8 counts.
I want to see the video.
Honestly, I really wish I had a video. I don't think my mom didn't get one, but maybe that's a good thing. But I will say I flamed that class. But honestly, I walked out and I was like, I wasn't defeated, but I was very inspired, just because I was like, okay, this is honestly like being in this environment and seeing these people at this caliber. It's like, I want to do that. It doesn't, like, I know it's going to take a lot of like work and like dedication and sacrifice, but I know it's something I want to do because it makes me happy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I think that was like a turning point in my dance journey to like actually like train and like be serious with it.
Did you keep taking like advanced classes, or did that make you even want to be like, okay, maybe beginners or intermediate?
Yeah, for sure. That was, I was oblivious to the levels. I was like, oh, I can do advanced choreo, but it wasn't so much like the actual execution, which is part of it. Like, advanced is still like harder, but it was also the speed they learned it at. I didn't take that into account.
Yeah,
So I was like,
dancers know things
Yeah.
like learn things super
Really
quickly.
fast.
literally, yeah. And in that one, he would just literally show it once, count, and then move on. It was so fast. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I definitely took all the classes after that. I was like, okay, I'm not too good to take any class, so I hopped in a bunch after that.
And you know, being able to escape from that fear of like rejection and failure and just like, oh, I'm not good enough, I don't have what these people have, like the fact that you keep pushing yourself even past like your fears and doubts, like I hope you know that you're very brave for not letting that get to
Oh,
you.
thank you.
Yes. And then after your dance class, that first dance class, did you join any groups? Like, what was the first group that you joined? Like, how did you go from that 18-year-old to now, the Audrey that we know today?
A lot happened between then and now, but I did a couple classes at TCC, South Campus. I joined the dance program there, and I took like some jazz, modern, a hip hop class, and just to kind of get the feel of like the structure of taking dance classes. I did that, and then I kind of branched out into a few different groups. Another group I joined was the Mademoiselle Dance Company, which is like a Latin fusion type of style.
Yes.
So I learned a lot with that one through like performances and just different styles. But yeah, honestly, just like taking a lot of class. And
How many times a week did you dance?
back then, I think I would try to take at least 2 classes a week.
Okay.
At least 1 to
okay.
2. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think honestly what I would say is what helped me the most is like being consistently in class. I didn't necessarily have to like let me take 6 classes in one day type of thing. It was more so let me stay consistently taking at least 1 to 2 classes a week.
Yeah.
And practicing those routines as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did that too when I first started like learn. Like you said, you learn that choreography within like 45 minutes or so. And to me back then, like that wasn't enough time, like at all.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, like I can barely even remember the second 8 count. And, like,
Yes.
You know.
Yes, very much. Take it home, do your homework, and then like
And then-
record yourself.
And how did you balance everything, like consistency with, I don't know what else you were doing at the time, school or work or
Yeah.
a social life? How did you balance all of that?
So at the time, I was taking classes at TCC. So and I thankfully still lived with my parents, so I didn't really have like the financial pressure of like, oh, I need to I need to pay rent, I need to pay all these bills.
Yes.
So I did have the flexibility of that, but I would stay up very late. I remember to practice. Like I would wait until everyone would go to bed, and then I would use the kitchen as my dance space, and then just like hit my laptop, my headphones, and like practice until like maybe like 3, 4 in the morning sometimes.
Wow, that's dedication right there.
See, I do that, but I just look at myself dance. I'm like, I'm not there practicing. I'm like, okay, cumbias ahora.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So what sacrifices do you feel like you had to do to follow your passion?
I would definitely say, I mean, there were like social sacrifices, of course, because you know, some friends might want to be like going out, doing this, doing that. But
Like FOMO.
Yeah, the FOMO like side of it for sure. But at the end of the day, like I knew I would have been kind of upset at myself if I were to like miss certain things I wanted to go to.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like to me, taking a certain person's class or like, I don't know, going to a dance event, I would have personally like had more joy being there in that environment than like, I don't know, some random club on a whatever, you know?
Yeah.
At the time at least. So yeah, some sacrifices I had to make. I would say once I moved out, I could feel it a little bit more because I was trying to balance like a job, going to, at the time I did make the Cowboys dance team, so I was like commuting from Fort Worth to Frisco to working my regular job to actually like having to practice my routines and like get everything together. So I did sacrifice like a lot of social things. I would have to definitely like have a lot of time management, but a lot of sleep. I would have to compensate my sleep for like practicing my routines and like waking up early to go to my job. So I would say sleep was the biggest thing for me.
And
honestly,
do you think that like how were you able to balance all of those things? Do you think that it made you more disciplined? Do you think that discipline had anything to do with that?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely staying disciplined and remembering like my why behind all of it. Like on the days, like the days that I was like super tired, I really didn't want to practice, or like, I don't know, just anything you can kind of think you would want to complain about. You're like, no, like at one point I was praying for this, so let me like grind it out. Let me like do all I can, because it's a blessing to be in that position. So let me not take it for granted or like make it bitter. Like, let me be present.
It's a privilege to be there. Like, not everybody makes it to those teams. And I've had a few friends who have auditioned for like the Mavs, and they're like, they can't get in, and it's their third year, and it's amazing to get in, but once you get in, there's still so much work to do. Like practices and more sacrifices, like what you were saying. But to give our viewers a little bit more tea, how were the auditions? How was the process?
It was different for each team I did. So the first time
I'm so sorry. Yeah. How long did it take you from like when you started learning how to dance to then joining your first dance, like a dance group?
Dance team. So I started at 18, and I just took class, trained, and then I found out about the Dallas Cowboys Rhythm and Blue dance team whenever I was 20. So I was training for about like 2 years, just like trying to keep an 8 count. Literally starting from the ground up. But about 2 years, and then I found out, and then would go to their prep classes, and I auditioned. And I remember I didn't make it my first year. And honestly, that was so hard. Like, I remember being like so depressed. But I knew it was part of it. But, you know, it's different whenever it's actually happening to you.
It's easier said than done.
Yeah, for sure. But, I didn't make it my first year. So I kept training, and then I auditioned for this other group just to get, like, team experience. Because whenever you audition for a pro team, you have to give them your dance resume. And it's different from like a regular work resume. It's going to be like everything you've done in your dance career. And I honestly didn't have anything to put. So I was like, all right, so I didn't make it this year. Let me at least like start building my dance resume. To show that I have team experience, and like I understand the structure, and I can be a team member in a dance group. So I auditioned for this pom team called the Texas Rev dance team. And it was like an indoor football team. So
cute.
I don't think a lot of people know I did that. But yeah, I was a pom girly.
Oh, that's
for
so
a season. Yeah, but I did that. So I got that experience of being in a team. So I would say, yeah, maybe like 2 years before I actually made like an official team I had to audition for and make.
Yes.
So I did that, and then I re-auditioned for Cowboys, and then I made it that next year.
Wow, what a journey.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been dancing for a year and I'm still like nowhere near that.
It took me a while though, and
Yes.
looking back, it seems like forever ago, but
Yeah.
during that time, I was like, I want to get better so bad. So
Yeah.
if looking back, I would just tell myself to like have patience and enjoy the process.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, there's not really like an end goal. You're always gonna like want to keep bettering your craft and like
That is true.
elevating.
That is
yeah.
true.
So it's like celebrate the small successes and like don't put so much pressure on yourself, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did you mentally prepare for the auditions, for like the fact that you felt defeated the first time? Like, how did you overcome that?
So, okay, let's see. It is a very like taxing like mental challenge just to
Yeah.
go through an audition process. For Cowboys specifically at the time at least, basically like teach you a combo, break it up into groups, and then you go in front of a panel of judges, perform the combination back, and then maybe do like a little freestyle, some interview questions. They do a cut, and then they'll bring back certain people. They'll like post the numbers, and then they'll call you back, and then maybe they'll take it like to the second day. So the next day they'll maybe like add a little bit on to the combo, and then same thing. And then this time they'll kind of like strategically place you in groups with people who kind of look similar to you. So yeah, so it'll be like people your height or like same hair color or like somehow kind of resembling each other.
Okay.
And then they'll kind of like continue to make cuts through there. And then with that one, they take you to training camp after that. So even after like a weekend of auditioning, you have to do, at the time it was maybe like 2 or 3 weeks of training camp. And then from there, it's like kind of like seeing how you rehearse in like their setting, like see how you pick up choreography, how you take it home, practice it, like if you can come prepared on time in the right outfits, like all of those like stipulations. But honestly, that training camp was one of the hardest things I feel like I've done.
Wow.
Honestly. Just because at the time I was still newer to to dance, so like my retention, I had to go home, take it home, practice it, and then let it sit in my body.
Yeah.
At the time, I couldn't like. I could, but it wasn't like confidently. I could like perform it back. So I would have to go home, take it home, come back. But they threw so much choreography at us. Like they would be like one night you learn one full like set, which is maybe like, I don't know, 2.5 minutes.
2.5
Yeah.
minutes.
It's not a cute little 8-count combo. It's like a whole set. And then the next night you learn another one. And then the next night you learn another one. And then
my God.
on that like Friday, they had like 3 days each week. So on the Friday we had all like 3 routines, and then we did an audition that night, and then they would do it in groups, and we would do all 3 like combos.
This low-key reminds me of like the DCC Netflix show.
Yeah. Honestly, it's actually very similar,
my
like the
God.
process of it at least. There's just like not cameras, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, I'm stressed thinking about it.
Yeah, like my heart is racing low
I
key.
know. Like, I'm like putting myself in that,
Yes.
visualizing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. No, seriously, it's something I feel like I'll always remember. But it was such a experience though, like just going through it.
Yes.
Did it get easier each time that you auditioned for a new team and like yeah?
Yeah, I would say like the more you audition, the more you can like audition confidently. So you kind of know like what headspace to be in. Like you kind of like prep yourself. So for me, when I go into an audition, I honestly have to put the blinders on. Like I can't be looking around the room and seeing what other people are doing.
Yeah.
I have to focus on myself and like
Yes.
like just focus on me. Because if I start looking at other people, I'll get in my head.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
As I'm visualizing this, you know, you being a 20-year-old auditioning through this whole process, did you ever compare yourself to others, especially those dancers who have, they've been dancing since they were like 2, stretching their feet in their ballet classes.
Yes.
And
they grew up in a studio.
Basically.
Yeah.
And how did you like not let that take over you?
Yeah.
I feel like I kind of tried to use it as like my superpower in a way, because I was like, okay, I haven't done this my whole life, but I'm going to do what it takes to get me there, and do it expedited.
Yes.
I don't know. But I tried to just embrace it and embrace everything that came with it. So I would just have to like put in the extra work and like really make sure I knew I could do it like confidently, and just like trust my process. And my process was like taking it home, drilling it, recording myself, practicing like anything I could really.
Yeah.
I'm like 25 and I'm like, I'm too tired for that.
I know, same. But now I'm like, I'm not as hungry as I used to be. no, but I do want to like keep training for sure.
And I mean, clearly it paid off. Like, look at like how much you progressed in within 2-3 years, and like making it into pro teams. Like, that's crazy. How did you overcome the biggest obstacle in your journey? How did you stay motivated during those challenging times, the rejections? Who was your support system during those hard times?
I feel like a big thing was, like a big obstacle I had to get over was honestly like not letting myself get in the way. Like not being my own
Self-sabotage.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So because you can quickly go that way, especially if you do come into like rejection, and which is part of it. Especially if you get rejected, like it's easy to like start spiraling and being like comparing yourself to other people. You're like, why am I even doing this? But it's in those times you have to really like remember why, and that you're doing it because you enjoy it at the end of the day. And just making sure that like your identity isn't held in other people's approval. It's like it's for yourself. At the time, honestly, still, my parents were actually very supportive, which I was.
Bonito.
Yeah.
Shout out to family.
Yes. Thanks, Mom. Just no, seriously, they were very supportive. Like I said earlier, my mom would like drive me to dance classes back in the day. Because honestly, I was 18. I had just like started driving, and driving in Dallas terrified me.
Oh my god, yes.
To this day.
I can't blame you.
Yeah. So being a new driver and going from Fort Worth to Dallas, I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I would ask my mom, and then we would just kind of make a day of it. So that they were super supportive, which I'm so thankful for. And then my husband, he's always been like so supportive.
Ay, qué bonito.
Even when we were dating back in the day, he would drive to all my games back when I was in that Palm team for Frisco. He would drive from Fort Worth to Frisco every game, and he would always come to like anything I had like dance related, just to come support me.
Yes.
So
That's how
always
you know
felt good.
he was a keeper.
Yes.
Right. We set our 5-year plans, and he and he said that he could work with it.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
How has your definition of success changed since you started pursuing your dance career or your passion?
Good question. Honestly, at the beginning, it was very like status driven. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, I didn't feel like I would have been like taken seriously as a dancer if I wasn't like on a professional team. So I feel like I did kind of carry that weight pretty heavily, because at the time it didn't seem like adults were just trying like new skills back then. Because it seemed kind of pointless. This was like before COVID, before everyone like started picking up hobbies. So anytime I would like say that I like wanted to start dancing, or I was learning like a routine or whatever, people would just ask like, for what? Like, why? Like, and I was like, I don't know. The thought of
You'll
just
see.
Just watch.
yeah, I don't think I had enough confidence in myself to say like, I don't know, I just wanted to start doing it, you know. I was like, okay, I want to audition for this team, that's why. So I think it did start out that way, and then over time I realized that that's not for me, that's not like, I would say, a definition of success. It is successful, but I would say that like I let it get to a point to where I it defined me. And
okay.
yeah, I think I was like putting it too high on a pedestal.
Yes.
And over time I realized, I was like, okay, no, it doesn't really necessarily matter like what space or team, or like that's not as high on the status rank as I think I initially thought it was. But truly, like anything successful for me dance related is just being able to use my craft in a space that I feel like it's valued, respected, and yeah, just in a space with like-minded people. And yeah, and just you're enjoying yourself, like you're healthy, you're able to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's so beautiful, because it can start off like that, you know, like una meta, like yes, I want to make it to this team, but then once you reach that goal, it's like, okay, what's next? And then your mind just expands, and some people are just like, okay, I made it, bye, let's go, you know, back to like
what I was doing.
Right. Yeah.
But I feel like it's so inspiring to see that like you evolved your mindset into like, okay, I want to, this is bigger than me, bigger than what I thought. And that's like, I don't know, when I look at people like that, it's just like, it's so inspiring and it's so contagious, because I love being surrounded by creative people. Like, creative people are just, I love y'all. and that also can translate in other, like, aspects of your life. Whether it's motherhood, your career, even as a friend, you know? Like, it truly does.
Right.
Like, I'm pretty sure that whenever you started, like, dancing, like, oh, I just want to, just because, I don't know if you, like, oh, I'm gonna be in these pro teams and stuff.
Or meet the people that I met. And be friends with the people that I am right now.
Right.
With that being said, what is the most rewarding part of following your passion? Like, how has pursuing your passion impacted your personal growth and other areas of your life?
Yeah, honestly, it really does attract the people that are like-minded like you. As cliche as that sounds, like, it's so true. Yeah, because whenever you're being like your authentic self, you're gonna attract that and those same type of people that are wanting to be in that same direction. And it just builds community and allows that space to be able to elevate and grow, because you're investing in each other and like you're authentically like creating relationships and supporting each other. So that's a very like important part, I feel, for sure.
Finding your tribe.
Talking about the dance community, like, how do you think it has changed over the years? Like, what was it like, I don't know, a few years ago to what it's now, like, after the pandemic?
Yeah, honestly, it has grown so much in the DFW area alone. Back whenever I first started, I feel like it was so hard to find anything like adult classes. Everything was like studio or like 18 and under. So yeah, it was very hard to like find adult dancing at the time, at least. But I feel like it has grown so much. Now I feel like there's a class every day if you wanted to train.
Yeah, it has grown so much, because I remember whenever I first like even like had the little seed in my head, the reason why I guess I held myself back, it was because I didn't want to take classes with like little kids, and then I was scared that I was like, what if they do better than me, and like I'm freaking 18 years old, like, you know, like I don't want to embarrass myself.
I felt that. I feel that. Yes. I remember I felt the exact same way. That was me in my first class. I was like, there's like little 8-year-olds eating it up, and I'm like,
eating it up.
I'm like, hey, what's the first day?
What do you do after this?
What's after this move? But I've kind of embraced it through my journey, and actually I found that I actually really enjoy like dancing with kids now. They actually push you, because it's like they don't overthink, they just do it, and then it kind of like it makes you in turn like do the same thing.
You make a really good point, because I feel like the adult mind, we are our own enemy. Like you said before, we are like, okay, I don't know, I don't look as good. Like we self-doubt ourselves so much. So it is refreshing to see little kids like la 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 la. Let's
just having fun. Just
because at the end of the day, it should be that. Like just having fun.
Right. They're like flourishing because they're not overthinking it.
Yeah.
So if you could go back and change maybe one thing about your journey, what would it be and why?
I kind of touched on it earlier, but just like have patience and understand that it is a process. It's a journey. It doesn't happen like overnight or in a year. It truly is a journey. If you want to like actually, you know, find your roots and like continue to grow in it, laying that foundation is going to take time. So just allow yourself to be patient. Don't put so much pressure on myself, and celebrate the small successes, like I had said earlier. But yeah, just enjoy each part of the process.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that, because sometimes I'm like, I should just clap for making it to class.
Yeah,
Because honestly, I'm so tired after work that like making it to class, it's already a win. So yeah, celebrating like the small steps, the baby steps.
Yeah.
It's such a big thing.
Right.
Yeah, because you don't want something that you love, like you're passionate, to take it away from you, and like for you to start dreading it and stuff either, you know?
Exactly. That's so true.
So how do you handle self-doubt or criticism from others?
Whenever I have self-doubt, I feel like I'll tend to kind of get some anxiety in a way, or like I'll feel anxious in a way that I can't really like put into words. So that's whenever I do use the tool of journaling a lot. So I do love to journal whenever I start having those feelings come up, just to kind of organize my thoughts and be able to like verbalize what I'm truly feeling. And then I'll just take it to prayer. I'll take it to the Lord in prayer and just ask for like guidance, clarity, strength, like ask him to like fill me up in whatever I'm lacking. And then just knowing that like I'm getting my strength from him. It's not through me. So at the end of the day, if I'm doubting myself, that's kind of doubting like God at the end of the day, because it's like he's the one doing the work in me. It's not me. So
That is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
of course.
Like I got chills. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, but definitely prayer. I would say just asking and seeking the Lord in like anything really, because he'll definitely be there if you just call and ask. So I feel like that's gotten me where I am. Honestly.
Do you think that even in your dance journey that brought you closer to God? Like were you deep in faith before you started your dance journey?
Yeah, I would say it definitely like helped me grow my relationship with the Lord, like, because there's so many moments where you can like fall into either like depression or like comparison or any of those type of like dark places. So yeah, lots of prayer and journaling and seeking advice from like people that like my parents or anybody that I like
That
respect.
love you.
Yeah, that are like my support system for sure.
Yes.
But yeah, I would say it's been a journey too with my faith, but I feel like they're like hand in hand, honestly. I kind of grew up in the church, so it's always been there, but I felt like once I moved out and started my own journey, like living on my own, that's when I truly like kind of found myself, and it helped me learn about myself, my faith, and it's kind of just like overpoured in all the other areas of my life. For sure.
And I think with following a passion, I think it brings something out of you. You get to learn so much about yourself. It's amazing what following a dream can do to you. It's not just, okay, I made it to the team, or I'm on TV now, or whatever, right? It's the journey, right? Todos los momentos que, like, you learn this about yourself, about other people. Like, it's so beautiful. And it's never too late. You can start that now. You can start that when you're 50. You know, there's a lot of business people who like started their business like way later in life, and they have an amazing story to tell. So I think it's beautiful.
And thank you so much for like sharing like everything that you have so far,
Of course.
like your vulnerability and stuff. What advice would you give to someone that's hesitant or scared about following their dreams and passions?
I would say, honestly, I feel like God placed that dream in your heart for a reason. So I would honestly just like lean in on it, and like, what's the worst that could happen? Like, what could you lose?
Yes, exactly.
You're not gonna die.
Yeah.
If anything, it's a good story to tell.
Even if it doesn't work out. Yeah, just try it. Like, at the end of the day, I feel like we're never too old to try something new or like to put yourself in a new environment, because we're always growing. We're human. We're always going to be growing.
Exactly.
Regardless.
And something so beautiful about these communities, and especially the dance community, is that it's so welcoming.
Yeah.
Like, I was so afraid when I first started. Like, I used to get anxiety attacks. I would drive to the studio and then be like, okay, no. Let's drive back.
No way.
Yes. Oh my gosh, those, yes. And so, but then once I started making friends, it was like, okay, the people here, like, we're here because we love to dance. We love the music. We love reggaeton. We love, I don't know, 90s R&B or whatever it is.
And again, you never know what it could lead to. You never know who you're gonna meet.
No, yeah, that's so important. Like, whenever you go to class, I feel like as a class taker, it makes you feel more comfortable whenever you're open with the people like beside you. You're like, oh, hey, what's up? My name's Adriana, or whatever. You know, just like a simple like acknowledgement of the people around you is also like making it more of a comfortable and safe space for you to like take class and like just be more free. You're not going to be as in your head because you're like, okay, they're here for their own reasons, you know?
Yeah, it makes you feel less alone in the journey.
Exactly. Yeah, and less like intimidating.
Yeah. And then I remember I started asking people, how long have you been dancing? A month. I'm like, awesome, me too.
That's awesome.
Yes. Okay, what legacy do you think you left behind through your work? What impact do you think you created through being a known dancer in the community? Because I know a lot of people look up to you.
Yes.
I used to be so shy when I would look at you during like our dance class. I was like, I want to say hi, but I'm like so shy.
Yeah, I know.
Please say hi. For myself, I hope that I am able to like at least give the influence or like the feel to like just work hard, be yourself, and be kind to those around you, and like just go for your dreams, like chase your dreams. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense to other people. As long as it makes sense to you, that's all that matters at the end of the day. And give it your all each day, for sure.
I think that you did leave that legacy though, because like I genuinely think that you're like a walking inspiration. You've inspired people like me. Like I'm like, oh, I can start something. And you know what we have in common is like I also started with like Zumba and stuff.
Yes,
like,
I remember we had that conversation. I was like, what?
Yes, and like, but then like I don't know. I was like, I want to do more. You know, like I could do more. And I don't know, like, I felt closer to you, like, once you shared your story. I remember whenever I saw a post that you, like, said, like, from the very beginning until, like, now, like, being at the maps and stuff, like, that to me, like, I'm not gonna lie, that did make me cry a little bit. Because, like, I had been doubting myself, like, that first year that I took dance of just, like, I don't know, I was really, really, and, like, I think you remember this, like, I was very hard on myself, like, the first 6 months, maybe year. Because I just wanted to get better so fast, like, but then after seeing that, I was like, if she could do it, like, I can do it too. Like, you know, like...
Yes. Oh, yay. Thanks for sharing. Oh, wow. Yeah. Then that's exactly... And I felt like I saw so much of myself in you whenever you told me that too. And I was like, yo, like, no, just give it some time. And if you, like, stick with it, then you can honestly do whatever you set your mind to, like, at the end of the day. Because I was exactly the same way. I was a Zumba instructor, and I wanted to, like, do more in dance and like challenge myself more in that area, but I was so hard on myself too. Like I would be so frustrated if I came home from a class and I didn't get the combo right, you know. And I was like, it was, and that's why I told myself, like, if I were to go back, I would just tell myself, like, be patient and like celebrate the small things, because if you focus on things that like you should have, would have, could have, like, you're always going to be like upset or like disappointed in a way. So take the growth as it comes, and everyone's journey is different too, so can't compare timelines necessarily, and
everyone's goals are different as well. Like not everybody, like maybe your dream is not to like make it on TV and billboards and Hollywood or whatever it is, right? But you can be like, okay, when I was 20, I took some dance classes, and then I met a wonderful friend, and then we made a podcast together.
Exactly. So many good things can come from it.
Exactly.
Outside of just the actual dancing, which is so cool.
This is a question I wanted to ask earlier, but now that we're talking about like legacies and all of that, looking back, how's your journey as a Latina in the NFL and NBA space shape your understanding of your identity, or how was it for you? How was like that experience? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's been an honor to be able to like represent Latinas in the pro dance world for like the past five years, because growing up, I didn't necessarily see too many girls on pro teams that looked like me.
Yes.
So I didn't necessarily think, I don't know, it was hard to like visualize yourself there whenever you didn't physically see somebody who looked like you. So just being able to like be in that space and be myself and like be proud that I'm a Latina and just take up that space confidently, I feel like that's so important, and I hope that inspires like any other like future Latina dancers to like keep going regardless of like your history or like your background or experience. Like if you want it, like go for it.
Yes. And I feel like you and like the Latino community, the pro dancers who are Latinos, you guys brought so much sazon.
Y'all do.
You guys did.
we try.
I think I went to the Somos Mavs last year, not this past one, but like 2 years ago, and you guys were dancing to salsa or something, and I was like, what?
Was it last year?
I think so.
Where we were in the t-shirts?
Yes.
So I actually helped choreograph that one. And it was me, Miska, and Carla. So like three Latina girls on the team. We all like collaborated on it. But yeah, that was so much fun. I feel like that's always gonna be a core memory because we got to like proudly show our culture on an NBA platform. And and just like it's so like exciting and like heartwarming to see that in that platform, in that arena. But it was so much fun.
So what is in the nearby future for Audrey? Any cool events or projects that you want to share?
Ooh. So I actually auditioned for a dance team and I got accepted. Thank you. I haven't posted anything, but because we haven't met yet, so
You heard it here first.
Well, it's gonna
Maybe she might post
it because we're always 2 weeks behind schedule.
But originally, I guess.
Right. Yeah, so it's a Christian hip hop team, and it's called Rev Crew. Yeah, so I didn't even know like Christian hip hop was a thing, honestly. Yeah, but I don't know. It's crazy like how God works and like the timing. But I found out about it. I auditioned, and so it's basically a Christian hip hop crew, like professional level adult hip hop crew, and they'll go and travel with a faith-based dance convention.
Okay.
So they'll perform like throughout the weekend and assist the choreographers and just kind of work the convention. So I'll be doing that this year, and I'm super excited. So we'll travel to maybe 3 different cities around the U.S. and then a few things here in Dallas. But yeah, I'm excited just to like dive into like a new space with my dance.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's a whole new space.
Right.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Yeah, just to like be able to combine my faith with my dance. Like that's something I've always wanted to do, and I didn't really think I could. I'd always thought I had to like separate the two. You know, because it's like in the hip hop culture, it doesn't necessarily like reflect a lot of like faith or like Christian values.
Traditional,
in a way.
conventional.
Conventional, like exactly. But I feel like this new age, there's so many different avenues, and like you can really implement it wherever you want. Like,
and if it's not there, you can create it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I'm hoping to continue to like teach classes and do more things like and implement my faith into it. So maybe like Christian hip hop classes. I'm trying to start that. Yeah, me and my friend Amber. I don't know if y'all have met her.
Yes.
We've been
going to your class on Friday.
Oh yay!
God willing.
Yes.
I'm gonna be in Houston.
That's next one. Yeah, so we've been doing like a Christian hip hop collab series. We haven't really like marketed it that way, but that's what it is. I guess we could start marketing it that way. Yeah, I definitely want to help grow like the Christian hip hop community here in Dallas. I feel like that's something God's kind of like planted in my heart, and I want to be able to like do what I can with that for sure.
And I had never heard of it, so it's definitely like I think it would be amazing, like to get people to go to those classes and stuff like that.
And
because I feel like sometimes I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I feel like Dallas can be oversaturated. I love it because when I go to other cities, it's like, okay, like there's no one here.
Yeah.
So I feel very fortunate to have so many dance classes throughout the week, but it is very oversaturated. You're like, okay, where do I go? Like, who do I want to
Which one do I pick?
Yes,
Right. That's true.
So it's so cool to see like this new lens, like this new take on dance. Like it's so awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah. And I think that God chose the best person to represent that and to like grow that. You know?
Thank you. It's different for me to like step into that leadership role, I would say,
yes.
because I'm always used to like just being the dancer or like not. I like teaching, but I haven't really done much in like leading and directing. So I think I can get in my head about that sometimes, but that's whenever I have to like revert back to prayer and like remind myself that it's not me, it's the Lord that's doing it.
Yes.
But yeah, just stepping into that confidently, I think. But yeah, I'm excited and just ready to see how God uses me. And
Yes, you
works
got
in me.
this.
Thank you.
I can't wait to
I
see it.
can't-
Yes.
Thanks. Yeah. Thank you.
And if you have not taken any of Audrey's dance classes, you have to check them out. I promise you that you will enjoy it and have so much fun. And her classes never miss, honestly. And thank you, Audrey, so much for your generous time and energy for being here with us today. I truly enjoy this conversation, and I feel grateful that you've shared so much about yourself and your journey here with us and in this hangout.
Aw, thank you.
I feel like I've learned so much, and I feel so much motivation. I know it's Sunday, but like I feel so motivated for like my week. This is like the best way to like start a new week. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, y'all. And their setup is so cool, by the way. I love it. Oh my god.
It's very humble.
Yes. No, that is so cool. Like, talk about like chasing passions as an adult. This is awesome. Like, I aspire to be as creative as y'all.
Thank you.
Anytime. You're welcome anytime.
Yes.
We can talk about other things as well.
Yeah.
Marriage.
Okay,
Ooh, I
let's
want
take
to.
y'all up on that.
Yeah, Christianity también.
Yeah, for
Yes.
sure. Yay.
All right. Well, thank you, our audience, for being here, for the love and support that you keep on giving and showing us. I want to take a little moment and just apologize for not posting so much on our socials. I want to remind you guys that we are humans and we have full-time jobs, and I'm also a part-time student. And as much as I would love to dedicate all of my time to Nena's Hangout, my reality is not letting me right now. But I do hope you know that everything that we're putting out there truly comes from the heart. It comes from pure intentions, and I can promise you that will never change. And I can't wait to see you guys again.
Yes.
And thank you.
Yes. Bye.